Hello students, I am Dr. Praveen Tripathi. I am a faculty of Psychiatry and the author of the book Review of Psychiatry. So, around 40 days are left for the NEET exam. And I know that a large number of you students is feeling quite demotivated or stressed out, and some of you are frankly struggling out there. Some of you are having doubts about the levels of your preparation. Some of you are thinking that is it even possible to do it now? And some of you are planning to become practical and you're telling yourself that practically it is not possible this year. Let me try again next year. I know all these things are happening with you. Let me tell you a reason why you should not give up. I will tell you my own story. Now this happened like 10 years back, but the conclusions that we can draw from this story are still very sound. So what happened was during my internship, I decided to appear for USMLE, and I went to US. I appeared for my step 1, got a pretty good score, 99 percentile I got. Then I went to US, did some electives for 4-5 months, appeared for the CS exam, cleared that too. But around November end or early December, I decided that I'm not liking it here. Despite staying in US for almost 5 to 6 months and staying in New York City, I was not able to like it there. So I decided that I would not do my residency from here. I would go back to India and I'll do my PG from India. Now by the time I came back, it was already end of December. I still remember that I think it was next day of Christmas or 27th of December when I reached back home. And the examination that year was scheduled on I think 9th or 10th of Feb. So I had exactly the same number of days that you have now, around 41, 42. Now the first thing that came to my mind was it is not practical to appear for the examination this year. My friends, my colleagues, all of them were preparing from the beginning of the year, and I thought that it's not possible to compete with them. And at the same time, a part of me wanted to prepare for it. I was seeing everybody studying. I was in the hostel. I was seeing everybody studying in the reading room, and I too felt like studying hard and appearing for the exam. And this ambivalence in my mind was there. After wasting a day or two, I decided that let me appear for it. A couple of my friends who were my friends from the PMT days, they told me that, see, you were always a good student, you should give it a shot. So I thought, okay, let me appear for it. And then I told myself that if I appear for the exam, I would not just appear for the sake of appearing. I would prepare to the best of my capabilities in the limited time available, and I'll give it a good shot. And I started preparing. 40 days left. Now, one of the good things or one of the important things when you prepare for an entrance examination is your dedication reaches the roof. And if it's not reaching the roof, you are not starting with the preparation properly. The first thing that I did during my preparation was I called my mom and dad and I told them that, listen, mom and dad, I would not be calling you oftenly. Then I called my friends. I told them that, guys, I love you. I like hanging out with you, but no calls for the next 2 months. And they were my good friends, so they understood. The problem came when one of my best friend was getting married in those days. But I decided that preparation means preparation. It's a serious business. I even called him and I explained him that, listen, I have only few days left. If I come to your marriage, I'll end up spending 4 or 5 hours. And please don't mind. He got a bit offended, but I always knew that I can patch up things with him later. But these 40 days are not going to come back. After doing all these things, I started studying and I went completely crazy. Completely crazy means I would get up in the morning and start studying. Even the brushing of teeth and the breakfast and the lunch, everything would be in break. I would study for 1.5 hours, take a 10 to 15 minutes break, then again study. And in those days, I would not study for less than 12 hours on any particular day. Now my schedule was very interesting. As I said, study for 1 hour, listen to 2 or 3 songs. Now this was my routine. I would in the breaks I would start listening to the music. I would close my eyes. I would usually listen to some of the motivational songs. During those days, we would listen to the songs of movie Lagan or Chak De India. I would listen to those songs and close my eyes, and I would imagine. I would imagine the day when the result would get announced. I would imagine that somebody is putting that result notice on the notice board. I would imagine that I'm driving to the university area. going in front of the notice board, and I would imagine my name written on that notice board. Of course, nowadays you get to see all the results on the internet, but during those days we actually had to go to the university to see the results. I would imagine all those things so vividly, and and while imagining all those things, I would get so pumped up that it was never difficult for me to study for 12 hours a day. And guys, the good thing about studying 12 hours a day or 13 hours a day is when you go to the bed finally, you have that satisfaction on your face. You feel so good. You feel as if you have utilized the day. And that also sets you up for the next day. All of us know that for a medical student, the best day is not when he hangs out with the friends or goes for a movie. The best day is when he has studied for 10, 11, 12 hours. Now, those 40 days were not simple. As it is the case, there are always some people who would try to demotivate you. Even with me, it happened. I used to go to one of the corners of reading room and would study. One of my friend who was a good student, one day he came and he kind of, with a sarcastic smile, told to me, "What do you think? You would be able to do it? It's not that easy. People don't clear examinations in just 30 days." And he was a good student. I could not reply anything back to him. But in my own mind, I said, "Screw you, man, I would do it." And even that sarcastic smile and that taunting comment gave me further motivation that let me put my best foot forward. And as the luck would have it, I did clear the exam. I always wanted to become a psychiatrist, and my rank was decent enough to get psychiatry. I could have also opted for ENT or ophtho or surgery or anesthesia. I was getting all those things. But the important thing was I got what I wanted to. Now, the important thing is, if I could do it, and mind you, before preparing for those 40 days, I had no contact with the books for 3 months, almost 3 months. Either I prepared for CS examination, which involves very little studying, or I was working in the US hospital. So if after a break of 3-4 months or even more than that, I could complete it in 40 days, can't you do it? I'm sure you have been studying at least to some extent throughout the year, and even if you have not studied, it doesn't really matter. See, students, I always keep on telling people that entrance examination is not only about studies. It's equally about the temperament. It's equally about taking the preparation to the last night. Now, in these last 40-45 days, a lot of things change. People who have been studying well, they start losing focus. Some of start losing motivation. Some of them start losing motivation. Some of them start feeling burned out. Some of them become very anxious. So even people who were better than you, they start dropping out of the race. And this happens every year. This will happen in future years as well. This is the nature of people that when anxiety starts to increase, they start to feel the heat. So because a lot of people start dropping out, it keeps on opening the window for those who are giving their best shot in the last months. Now the question is, if I could do it, can't you do it? Aren't you quite similar to me? Isn't it true that you also feel the best when you study for 12 hours a day? Isn't it true that in your heart there are two fights going on? One part of you is trying to study, one part of you is trying to motivate you, and other part of you is trying to pull you down. It's telling you, no, it's not possible. Let's be practical. Isn't it true that you know in your heart that you have that capability? You know that if you could just perform to the best of your capabilities, nothing could stop you. Isn't it true that you also want that next year when your friends get into a college to pursue their MD or MS, you should be a part of them? Isn't it true that when you go to the bed nowadays without studying, you feel frustrated, you feel angry with yourself, you want to shout, but somehow something is stopping you? Now, the important thing is, whatever that something is stopping you, whatever that something which is planting seeds of doubt is in your mind, it's not that strong. You can overcome it. It's all about starting it. Believe you me, even for the next 3-4 days, if you could, study just properly with focus, with putting a lot of hours, the things will start to change. I often tell the students that I get to interact one-to-one that, there's a rule in cricket that the game is not over till the last ball is bowled. Similarly, the rule of entrance examination is the preparation is not over. The game is not over till that bell rings in the examination hall. In the last few days, everything can change. We all have seen matches where, number 9 batsman comes and starts hitting 4s and 6s, and wins the match for his team. You can be that batsman for your own life. It's all about going out there and starting hitting fours and sixes. Another important thing is, students, when only 40-45 days are left, you have to be very selective about what you study. Forget everything else. The key for entrance examination has always been the last year questions. That is your best bet. So if you ask me that you have not studied the entire year, what to do now, I'll say forget everything. Just mug up the last year questions. And if you tell me that you have been studying but your few subjects are left, I'll say revise the subjects that you have read from whatever source it was. And apart from that, just mug up the questions that were asked in the last 7, 8, 9 years. That is your best chance to get selected. So don't give up. It's not over. It's not over till it is over. The game is still wide open. You can still go out. You can still win it for yourself. And you will thank yourself for your entire life for what you did in these 40 days. I, till this date, thank myself. I thank myself. I thank the person who was in me 10 years back, who took the decision of studying and not giving up. Believe you me, you will also do that. So go out there, study hard, best wishes, and don't forget to drop a message to me when you do get selected. We'll party together. All the best.